All right, and we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a great week so far. We got a very cool podcast topic, or interview, should I say, for y'all today. We have Mr. Pierce Showe. Is it Showe or Showe?
Shall.
Showe.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierce Showe. He's coming on to the podcast, and I think this is going to be a good one because I've been telling the listeners a lot about like my running. And so for y'all people that don't know, Mr. Pierce is what I would say an expert runner. I I've been following you a lot lately on Instagram, so I quickly jumped on the opportunity to have you on the podcast because I actually found out about you through Steve Weatherford. So I was listening to his podcast, and I don't know if you came on his podcast or if he was
Yeah.
talking about you or what, but he told me about you, and that's when I started following you. So I've been following you for a while now, and you've been doing some pretty incredible things. We're actually very similar. I've been doing some pretty cool stuff in my opinion, but you're like a whole nother level. So I'm glad to get into that today. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, just a little bit about the podcast. We try to I'll talk to you a little bit. We try to help people get started on their podcast. We keep things typically pretty basic here. We just like to have a cool conversational, chat, not nothing too serious. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. If you would go ahead and tell the listeners just a little quick glimpse about you, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah. Super excited to be here, Murphy. I think it's amazing and incredible that you've been doing this show, helping people for the past 3 years. And fitness isn't even your profession. It's just a hobby and something you love and something that's changed your life that you want to help other people with. So I just want to honor you for that. Because that is definitely faithfulness, showing up, putting out the episodes for 3 years is incredible. And so, yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Pierce Showe. I live in Dallas, Texas now. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Basically, I've been able to do a lot of really cool endurance challenges from, you know, half marathons, full marathons, ultra marathons, 100-mile races, 200-mile races, some triathlons. But my goal here today is to leave you with the belief that you're capable of way more than you think. And there are things that you're capable of that you don't even think are possible right now. And that's something that I've learned through the last 7 years doing endurance sports is you start off in a certain place where you may not be able to imagine running a 5K, a half marathon, a marathon. But then you look up after training consistently and improving year over year, and you're able to do ultra marathons if you want, or fast marathons, and things that you once dreamed of. And it doesn't just stay in fitness. It impacts your confidence, it impacts your life, it impacts your drive, it impacts your ability to achieve things. And so that's part of why I love fitness. Um, and so yeah, I'm an endurance athlete who puts my faith first. I'm not afraid to talk about that and share that too. And yeah, God's really used running to transform my life. And I hope today that you listening will be able to glean something that will be able to change your life as well today.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned the faith thing because that's something I was going to actually ask you about to get started. I know you're really big in your walk with God and things. So that's something that's been on my heart lately. I've been kind of going through my own journey as well recently. Past a couple of years, me and my wife started going back to church. So
Let's go.
it's been huge for us. It's been
Yeah,
great. I mean, literally, I've been sober for 2 years now. Like
let's go.
marriage is better than ever. So it's been a cool journey, and I talk about it a lot on the podcast. And it's something that I'm trying to open up more about because I know it can help other people too. I know I like talking about fitness, but I know the whole faith side of it plays a lot, kind of more on like the mental, spiritual side of things. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
There's no doubt that there's no way I'd be able to do these challenges without my relationship with God, and also they wouldn't have the purpose and meaning that they do without my relationship with God. Because yeah, you can be fit, you can be healthy. That's extremely important, but you can be physically healthy but spiritually dead. You can look great on the outside, but on the inside have inner turmoil and chaos and all of those things. And so it's really important to not just be physically fit, but also spiritually fit. And that comes, through a relationship with God, and that's changed my life. And also what I found in these races, just discovered so much more about God, about how we're capable too to push beyond the end of ourselves through relying on God and God's strength. And so, yeah, that's awesome to hear that God's changed your life too.
So how would you say your faith kind of plays a role in your fitness journey? All these, like you mentioned, the endurance, the 100-mile races you do. How do they kind of correlate, or do they correlate at all?
Yeah, so I mean, before every challenge, before every race, I always pray. I ask for protection. I ask God to, strengthen me, able to help me get to the finish. But I'll tell you this. So I started running. How I got into it was I played lacrosse growing up, and then come high school, we had to run a 5K every day before lacrosse tryouts, and that was awful growing up. It's like, man, why in the world do we have to do this? This sucks. No one wants to do it. XYZ. So anyway, we have to do this 5K, but I realized I'm actually not bad at it. I'm actually pretty decent, and I was never the best, most talented, but I worked really hard. And that's the great thing about running, great thing about fitness is you don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the most gifted. But if you put the work in, you sacrifice, you dedicate to it, you can be really good. And so by the time junior year, senior year came around of lacrosse and high school, I was like, man, maybe I should do a marathon or a half marathon. And my mom has run a marathon every year for the last 33 years. And
Wow.
so, yeah, incredible. And I say that because I saw her and she never told me to run. She never even told me to try a 5K, but she set the example. And I saw her and I thought, man, if she could do a full marathon every year, I could at least do a half marathon this year. I'm in pretty good shape. And so her example gave me a picture of possibility so that by the time, senior year came around, I decided to sign up for a half marathon. And when I signed up for this half marathon, there's a lesson here too, in that I told some people I was going to do it, and a lot of people were like, "Are you sure you can do it? What's the longest you've run? Do you know how to fuel?" All these different things, and it caused me to doubt myself a little bit, and I wasn't sure I could do it because I'd never done it before. And so those nerves of like, can I really do this? Is it really possible? It's all totally normal because you've never done it before, and so I didn't know that at the time. I almost let it stop me from doing it, thinking I wasn't prepared enough. Luckily, I'd already paid for the race, signed up for it, and so I did it. And it was really challenging. But about an hour and 40 minutes later, I finished the half marathon, and I had this big revelation. I thought to myself, man, if I didn't think that I could do this half marathon before, like just a month ago, but I was able to do it, what else is possible? What else can I do? And so that's the belief that triggered in me to go from half marathon to full marathon to ultra marathon, to 100 miles, 200-mile races. And I'll talk to you about tie it back to this faith component, because at first these challenges were all about like, how far can I go, what am I capable of, um, how can I improve myself. And then once I started doing that, I started getting some recognition for it, because I think it was like 19 years old or so, I had run 100 miles, and not many 19-year-olds have done that. So I got some recognition. It felt really good. And so then I started to crave the recognition. But after doing a couple races like that, I would feel so empty afterward, because it was like, yeah, I wanted to still push
Mm.
myself, but I was doing it for the recognition. Um, and so it would always leave me empty, always leave me feeling like, what's the whole purpose of all this? And that even helped me draw closer to God, because I knew, and through my relationship with God, God showed me that if I put my value in my achievements, if I put my worth in the races that I was able to run, I would feel great on the finish line. But 3 days later, 4 days later, when no one cared, I'd be back down in the dumps. And so, that's part of it too. This whole journey is like realizing that I need to find my strength, I need to find my worth from what God says about me and my relationship with Him, rather than like the achievements I have and the works that I have, because those are all temporary. and will, definitely not satisfy you long term.
Yeah, I definitely relate with you when you said, after your race, you kind of feel, you're pretty low afterwards because you've been training so long, you've been prepping for this one big thing, and all of a sudden, boom, it's done. So you kind of feel like you're like, well, what's next? You feel kind of weird. I actually kind of experienced that recently. I just did a Olympic triathlon like 2 weekends ago. I've
Okay.
been training for that for a while, and then it's like, what do I do now? I'm in that
Yeah.
weird place where I'm like, I need
Yeah.
to relax a little bit and before I start getting myself into something else.
Yeah.
So you say your mom got you into running, but then so how do you go from just running to running 200 miles like that? That's insane. I don't
Yeah. So,
I can't comprehend that.
so I definitely like gave you the cliff notes, jumping just from thing to thing. So I'll give you the actual progression now. So I played high school sports. Through that you have a general fitness base that's pretty good. And then my senior year of high school, did a half marathon. That was September. The next month, I did the local marathon. And then, so that was, yeah, October 2018. Summer of 2019, the next year, I did a half Ironman. Then that fall, 2019 in November, I did my first ultra marathon, so 52-mile race. I didn't know these existed until I read Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. So he really opened my eyes to that. And then from there, I decided like, oh, I'm going to do a challenge every semester of college. And so I did 60 miles in May of 2020, then 100 miles in the fall of 2020. 2021 kind of took a little bit of time off because I was working a lot. And then 2022, I did three 100-mile races. And then 2023, I did three 200-mile races. And so, yeah, it was a lot. But I think it was like doing the next distance up really helped without jumping too far. I mean, yeah, you
Mhm.
jump from marathon to 50, 50 to 100, but like by going each progressive step, you gain more confidence. So I wouldn't recommend anyone go straight from marathon to 200, but yeah, go from marathon to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, and you can do that. But then also an essential element of all this is after my first 100-mile race, I hired a coach, and my coach really helped me down my training because I had no clue in the world what I was supposed to do. And you can get by with that in the beginning, but if you don't want to get injured and you want to really optimize your performance, having a coach really helps you just streamline that process and become all that you can be. And I always do really well when I just have someone else giving me the plan to follow and I just execute. So yeah, that's really really good and has been great for me.
Yeah, it's funny listening to you because we're very similar in the way we do things. So you say you want to do one big challenge every semester. Well, I kind of did the same thing, but mine was one per year. So I just
Yeah.
started this back in 2023. Well, to
Okay.
give you a little history, I grew up playing sports, same as you. I played
Okay.
baseball, pretty athletic, growing up. As soon as I got in high school, I found weightlifting because they made us work out. So I found that, immediately fell in love. I was real skinny as a kid, started building some muscle, put on some size. I immediately fell in love, and I was hooked. So I've been weightlifting ever since then. Well,
Yeah.
all the way through college. After college, don't have any sports to play anymore, and I'm not moving on. So I was like, well, I got all this extra time now, and that's why
Hmm.
I got really serious about working out then. But that only lasted about 2 years. I was like, okay, I need something else. I got to do something else. So a friend of mine talked me into doing a local triathlon. It was just a sprint. So I did the sprint, and I immediately kind of got hooked to that as well. So I did a sprint, did an Olympic, then I did another sprint, and I was already training for an Ironman at this point. So
Yeah.
did Ironman the same year within
Okay.
like several months. So I did that, and that's what started the whole one big challenge every year. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do something cool like this every year. So the next year, as a weightlifter, I had to do a bodybuilding show. So I went Ironman, bodybuilding show, and then this year in April of this year, I ran 100-mile ultra marathon. So that was
Let's
my first
go.
my first ultra. I didn't do it the same way you did. I didn't go up the steps. So I went from
Uh,
Ironman to bodybuilding show straight to 100 ultra. So I
well, I
kind of
guess you did an Ironman, so
yeah, yeah. So I did a marathon in my Ironman. So I did build up to it, but not the same way, not just in running. But
yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of like my endurance journey that I've been going on lately. I started that in 2023 as when I did my Ironman. So
Yeah.
I have some things lined up that I want to do. So I've entered into the Go One More Ultra. I entered into the lottery, so we'll see. I think we'll find out Friday actually if I get in. So we'll
Okay.
see. That's a backyard ultra. You know what those are?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I entered that one. We'll see if we get in that. If not, I really want to do Leadville. So I know you did Leadville, and we'll talk about that. But I'm gonna enter the lottery for that one too. I actually entered it for it last year, but I didn't get in. So I'm gonna enter into it again this year and see if
Uh-huh.
we can do it. I would love to do Leadville. That's a cool one. I think that one would be very cool.
Oh yeah, such a special race, really cool. It's 100 miles if you don't know through Leadville, Colorado.
Hmm.
One of the most iconic 100 milers in the U.S. And for ultras, they're very different from marathons. Marathon, you may have 10, 20,000 people running in the major city marathons. Ultra marathons, you may have 100 people running 100 miles.
Hmm.
But for Leadville, there's over 700. It's one of the oldest races. And so it's just, yeah, really special.
Yeah, it's kind of like an iconic one, so I would like to do that one. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get in and we'll try it out. We have a few other things. Like I want to do a high rocks too. I know those are pretty popular now.
Yeah,
I want to try one.
that's blowing up. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting
it's
super
huge.
popular.
They don't have one near me. They do have one in Dallas though. So
Yeah, it's
I
sold
may
out in like
yeah,
20
it's
minutes.
a lottery thing again. So I actually have a good friend of mine that he got tickets to it. So he'll be going
Okay.
up there. So
Okay.
I'm excited for him to do that. I want to see let to get some pointers from him to learn how to do
Yeah.
it. Because I
Literally.
don't do that kind of training at all. Like I do pretty much bodybuilding style training, and then of
Okay.
course the endurance side of things. So
Okay.
it would be different. It'd be a challenge for me
Yeah.
to do that. So
Yeah.
so I want to talk about the year you did all the ultras. You said you did what 3 100s and then you did 3 200s.
Uh, yeah. 3 100s in 2023 or 2022, 3 200s in 2023.
Yeah, that's just that for people out there that can't even wrap their like most people when I told them I did 100 miles, they were like, "What? You ran 100 miles? Like
Yeah.
what? Like what? Why? Like how do you even
Yeah.
do that?" So
Why
like they
would you
can't
do that?
even most people can't even wrap their head around 100 miles.
Yeah.
But after I ran 100 miles, like I can't wrap my head around running 200 miles. Like I don't know how you did that. There's no way I could have went 200 miles
Yeah.
after I ran 100. Like my legs were done. Like they were
Yeah.
done. I wasn't going no more. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like how do you train for those? Like how are you training for a 200-mile race?
Yeah. Since it's like double the distance, people would think, oh, it's double the distance in training for 100 miles. It's really not. It's probably maybe 25 to 30% more than you would train for a 100-mile race. Lots of back to back long days. Um, yeah. And also, like the pacing for a 100 or 200-mile race is just very different. It's like, a lot slower because you're really just trying to withstand and last for so long. um, and also too, you're dealing with sleep deprivation because you're going through multiple nights, and some of the top pros can get through on like 15-minute derp nap, but anyone who's going to take longer than 72 hours or so, which is probably 90% of the field, is going to need to take some more serious like sleep. And so yeah, I mean you're getting, but even if you're getting more serious sleep, you're only getting 1 to 2 hours of sleep a night. And when you and you're also moving all day, so it's definitely not enough. It's literally just enough to keep the lights on. So it's just very challenging. But yeah, so as far as training volume, it's maybe not as more than you think, but it's just a game of like how can you withstand the fatigue, and also the breakdown, because your body's going to break down at some point, and you just got to be able to push through, and also you want to train as much as you can to like delay that breakdown as much as possible. And you'll see like strength training becomes even more important in 200-mile race because it's just about durability too, like for a long duration of time.
Yeah, it's interesting you said it's only about 25% more than 100. And I totally get that because when I trained for the ultra for the 100, I thought it would be a lot worse than what it was. Like my training honestly wasn't that hard. It was I would say my Ironman training was way harder than the
Mm.
ultra training, just because there's three disciplines. You're training each discipline, several times a week. When it came to the ultra, I mean, I was running, 6 7 days a week, but that's all I was doing was running. So to me, the ultra training was a lot easier than the Ironman training. And people find that interesting when I tell them that. I'm like, yeah, I was only running. You're only doing one discipline. So it's
Yeah.
not as much time. Like Ironman training, I was training over
20 hours a
15,
week.
yeah, 15 to 20 hours a week, easy. I was doing 2 days, 5 days a week. Saturday and Sunday are long days. So I mean, I was easy getting 15 to 20, depending on the week. When it came to ultra training, I wasn't doing. I mean, I was just running one time a day. So I never
Yeah.
did 2 a days or anything.
Yeah, because that's also too, like, with the nature of running is, like, you just can't you can
Mhm,
only do so much. Like, because with the Ironman training, you get biking, which, you're stressing the body, but there's no real load. And same with swimming. Is like swimming is like the best aerobic exercise that you can do with without impact on the body because you're in a pool and you're stressing the body, you're growing your aerobic system, but you're not like having the impact on your joints and
mhm.
ligaments and all of that. And so I think it also, because it's that way, allows you to put more time in because your body's not taking as big of a beating. Whereas with running training, it's like, yeah, every time you're running, you're out there and your body is feeling it.
Yeah, there's no way you could put in that many hours and recover correctly. There's just no way, unless you're just a freak. And there are some people out there like that, but there's no way you could do 20 hours a week running. Or I couldn't. My legs would be done. So yeah, what were some of your times for these races? I'm just curious. What did you finish your 100 miles in and your 200s?
um, my hundreds were anywhere from like 20 to 24 hours typically. And then the 200s were, first one was 87 hours, second one was 79, and then the third one was 91 hours. And the third one was 240, not 200.
You
Um,
did you do Moab?
yeah, it was the Triple
Okay.
Crown, which is a
Yeah.
series of three 200-mile races. Because of like one got pushed back. It was over the course of 3 months, so it was like end of June, or end of July, August, and October. So start to finish, it was 3 months. So yeah, it was a lot.
That's the worst time to do them too when it's so hot. That's
Yeah,
got to be rough. I don't know how you
yeah,
did that.
it was warm, but it was I learned a lot.
Yeah, I've when I did my ultra, I watched all kinds of YouTube videos about ultras. So I've
Okay,
watched the Moab, Leadville, uh, what's the one in California? Something states, Western
Western,
states. Yeah, I
yeah,
looked at I've looked at all the popular ones. I watched one UTMB. Somebody just posted a video this week, so I was watching that one.
yeah,
Um, See, that's I don't know. That's just crazy. You did them in 3 months, especially in the heat like that.
yeah.
So what is it? 80 something? What's that? Like 4 days, roughly?
Yeah. I mean, 72 hours is 3 days, so yeah, 4 days
Yeah.
basically.
And that's crazy. I can't. So you're basically you're out there a week just running, basically. That's
Basically,
yeah.
yeah, it was a lot, but I mean, it was good. I learned a lot, and yeah, super challenging, but fun at the same time.
How long is it taking you to recover after one of these races?
I mean, you have brain fog for probably 2 weeks straight after the race, where your brain just isn't functioning like the best, and you
Mhm.
just feel fatigued because you're catching up on sleep as well. You're probably only sore for like 3 days after. Like, you're not ready to go after, but like you're not sore to the point where like you can like tangibly feel it. It's more like once you start like doing weights or something, you can feel it. So yeah, that's what I say. About 2 weeks with the brain, um, and then 3 days with the soreness.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was I don't remember experience much brain fog. I, mean, I probably was. I just didn't realize it. But when it come to like my legs and feet, like I was on crutches the next day after the ultra. I was, but I did. They did heal up pretty quick. Like I was good within a week. I was good to go. I took off like 2 weeks after just to be careful, just to be
Okay.
safe. I took off extra time, but I was good after 5 6 days. I was back to normal.
Okay.
But yeah, recovery, especially when you're running them back to back like you did, recovery is so important, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
running. You can get injured
Yeah.
so easy.
Yeah.
What
100%.
what are some of your like recovery tips or protocols that you like to follow for when it comes to running?
Yeah, biggest thing is sleep. Like, to be able to recover, sleep is the number one thing that you can be doing. Like, get as much sleep as you humanly possibly can. Like, lay in bed all day. especially like the day after, 2 days after a 100-mile race, if you can. Um, because I mean, it's just built in your body's natural recovery mechanism. You can speed it up with like recovery hydration IVs. Um, I love Epsom salt baths. I love red light. Red light's great for skin during these 200-mile races. Like your feet blister so bad to the point like your feet hurt so bad by the end of it. Um, I mean, imagine like for the listener, like imagine standing up all day. Like imagine a day where you're on your feet all day and how your feet hurt by the end of the day, and then add that into like 60 plus miles a day and then 1 to 2 hours of sleep, and it's miserable. But yeah, so your feet end up taking a big brunt of it because you're so many steps. I mean, I don't know what the number is. I wish I did, but like over 150,000 steps you're taking for the race, and so um, yeah, it's just a lot. So red light actually helps your skin a lot too. Helps that recover and rejuvenate faster. And then eating good. I'm also a big fan of like cold plunge and sauna. Not everyone has one. That's why and actually sleep is better. But if you're sleeping enough, add the cold plunge, add the sauna on top of that, and it'll make a big difference.
Yeah, I love the cold plunge. I have a little DIY setup at my house that I use a lot.
Yeah.
I hadn't got a sauna, but that's on the list. I really want to
Okay.
get a sauna. I want to do some contrast therapy there. I like the whole biohacking thing now. Kind of,
Oh,
I got
it's
I
great.
got the bug. I can't. I gotta admit, I watch too much Gary Brecka and stuff online
Uh
about
huh.
cold plunging. So,
Uh huh.
um, did you do the red light on your feet, or are you doing it just like
On
everywhere?
your whole body.
Yeah.
Whole body,
Okay.
but feet especially helps.
Yeah, I never. I hear a lot about red light therapy, but I've never heard of somebody using it like for recovery after an ultra, and that's especially on your feet. But that does make
Yeah,
sense though, because I know your feet get tore up. I know it's kind of gross, but my big toenails, both of them fell off. They were black and blue after the race. Both of
yeah,
them fell off. They're just now almost grown back, so it's been a
yeah,
while.
yeah,
So it's pretty
yeah.
gross,
That can
but
happen. That's why you got to pluck your toenails as best as possible, and then also get a size half size bigger of shoes. That also
mhm,
can really help during an ultra.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, my feet were swollen when I got done, like super swollen.
Yeah,
So what would you say there was something like in particular that inspired you to do, these mega ultra races? I know you say your mom kind of got you into running, but like, was it just as simple as I want to see how far I can go, how far I can push myself, or is there something you can think of like that really
yeah.
inspired you to do it?
At first, it was like I wanted to see how far I could go, and then I started getting some recognition. So I was like, man, this is really cool. Like I get recognized for this, so I'm going to do it more. It helps me stand out. Helps me grow. And then, I kind of shared a little bit about what that led to. And then after that, it was just like, how can I encourage people and use this that God's given me to like as a platform to inspire other people and lead people to Christ. And so that's sort of what it's become now. Um, yeah, we'll see where it takes me. I think the biggest thing I do is like I always encourage my athletes is like your running goals should serve you, not you serve your running goals. I think it's easy to get into it, fall in love with it, and then become a slave to it. Honestly, and it's like we're doing this to grow ourselves. Like I think at least in my life, like God is number one, then my wife, then my family, business, um, and other relationships, and then like my fitness. Like I think attaining a great level of fitness is of the utmost importance to me. But like doing 100-mile races and 200-mile races, um, has become less. So who knows? I may like shift and through different seasons of my life do different things. But yeah, I really encourage my athletes is like your goals should serve you. If you feel like you want to see what's possible and you want to do 100-mile, like build up to it. But if you're a dad, who just had a baby and you're growing a business, well, a marathon would be a better thing for you to do right now just with the time that you have available. So I also try and be very like practical in that standpoint when I'm helping people set goals.
Yeah, I identify with you on that one where you said make sure it's serving you and you're not, a slave to it. I like that a lot
Yeah.
because I kind of get the same way sometimes. Like once I'm deep in a prep and I'm prepping for something, like that's kind of all you live for at the time because everything is around that centered around that thing. Like what you're eating that day, centered
Yeah.
around your training, what time you're training that day. Like so you get caught up in all the extra stuff that goes along with the prep.
Yeah.
And then as we talked about earlier how once it's over, you kind of feel lost a little bit. You kind of feel down in the dumps. So that's why I think the faith side of things is a great thing to hold on to because it's makes you realize that it's not all about just that race. There's a lot more to it. So there's a lot to the prep itself. Like going through the process day in and day out. Like that's where you learn everything is in the prep. When it comes to race day, I mean you pretty much put all the work in already. Now it's just time to perform. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely identify with that. Kind of making it like you're like an idol. You don't want to make it an idol because we can for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to make it an idol because it can definitely dominate like your thoughts and things for you.
Yeah, it's fitness is normally a good thing. The more fitness is typically the better. But for people like me and you that are very, very into it,
Yeah.
like we can let it become too much. Too much of our
Yeah.
lives become like we said, become an idol. So we just have to ground ourselves and remember what it's all about. It's not just about us and what we can force ourselves to do.
For sure. And that's where I think it's like super important to like actually set aside time and think about these things. Like I think too in a culture where, we've got our phones at our hip and we've got notifications going off like crazy and all of that is we can get like caught in the swirl of all the things that we need to do and all the things going on. And we don't take as much time to think and process. And so I think, my encouragement is like set aside some time, set aside 30 minutes to think like what do I really want? What do I want my body to look like? What do I want? Like do I want to go after an Ironman? Do I want to do a marathon? Do I want to, improve my physique? What is that going to take? And do I have and do I want to make the time and the dedication allocation to, do it, to accomplish it? And yeah, I think that's really good, Murphy. Unfortunately for us, we've got a lot of time as we're running to reflect on life and
Hmm.
solve the world's problems. So that's when I typically do my reflection.
Yeah, running is a great thing to like give yourself some time to think. And typically I like to train with somebody else, but most time I'm training with myself. So I have a lot of time, like you said, to think, especially while I'm running. So that's when I do a lot of like my, just talking to God and things like that. That's when I do a lot because you're out there by yourself for hours on end. So you think about everything, and then once you think about everything, you're like, all right, now what I'm gonna do for the rest of this run.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I wanna shift gears a little bit because something we haven't mentioned yet that you just accomplished that I think's another crazy thing that you've done is you just broke a Guinness World Record. It was Guinness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Guinness World Record for the most consecutive. Correct me if I say this wrong. The most consecutive half marathons ran on a treadmill. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's insane. So how does this even come about? Like, what made you even think about this? Why would you do this?
Yeah, I don't know why I did it either. No. I had a friend send it to me on Instagram. Was like, "Hey, you should go after this goal." So I was like, "Oh, this actually seems pretty cool, but why would I want to run on a treadmill that many days in a row? If you're a runner and you've run outside and run on a treadmill, I don't think I know a single runner that enjoys the treadmill more. It's just so
Mhm.
boring and repetitive, all of those things. But I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't get it out of my mind. And so I'm like, man, maybe I really need to do this. And so, yeah, I just, after, a couple months of thinking about it, I decided to go all in on it. And, yeah, got all the things that I needed to. I quickly realized it's going to take a lot more than just running on the treadmill. I'd need 2 eyewitnesses every day, video evidence every day, witness statements every day, and all of that. And yeah, it was wild. It was a lot, but it was really cool and such a journey, and really taught me a lot about consistency, dedication, staying committed, how to stay committed to something like that. and really grew me a ton. So that was a really powerful time for me. And yeah, just really, really grew a lot through that.
So what was the record before, and what did you set the new record at?
Yeah, so the record before was 125 days, and I set it at 153.
Oh wow, I didn't realize you broke it by that much.
Yeah.
So how do you decide when to stop? What did you do to finally
Uh,
stop doing it?
this isn't a great answer, but I one was getting married in September, so I stopped in beginning of August. I was getting married mid September, so just got married actually recently, 10 days ago, as of recording this, and so I knew that was on the horizon. Also, I wanted to do the Leadville 100. I had a partnership with Lifetime Fitness, and they offered me a spot to do Leadville, and I was like, man, I just can't pass this up. And so anyway, I was like, I got to do it, and so Leadville was like mid August, and so I needed to take some time off to acclimate and go up to altitude to be able to run. And so I did that, and I decided I'm like, all right, well, I want to do that. So I just decided, and I had gotten over the goal, so I'm like, I achieved what I wanted to, and now it's time for the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least you had like something next to go to. I
Yeah,
would feel so bad to like just stop one day. You've been doing it for
yeah,
so long and you break it, and
yeah,
you're just like I wouldn't know how to stop. You'd be like, well, I broke the record, but I don't want nobody else to beat it, so I'm gonna keep going.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But that's
yeah. It was.
amazing. This record it's pretty cool to me. I like this because I know how hard this was because I run a lot, so I know you probably dealt with a lot of like you wanted to quit, waking up each and every day, doing it over and over again, knowing you had to get on a treadmill and run
Yeah,
13 miles on a tread. Which, by the way, if you've never ran 13 miles on a treadmill, it's miserable. I do not recommend it. Go outside and run if you're gonna run 13
yeah,
miles.
yeah,
Um, so what did you do when it started to get tough? Because I know there had to be, a slump that you went through. You just
yeah,
dread to getting up and going. So what did you
yeah,
do and how'd you keep going?
yeah. That I really learned through that challenge is like it doesn't matter what you decide one day. It's a matter of what you decide every day. And so for me, I had to redecide every day that I was going to do this challenge. And so when the difficulty came, I had to redecide like I'm the guy, I'm doing this and there's nothing that's going to get in my way. So it was day 98. It was on actually 4th of July. This is another thing is I had to run it every single day on the treadmill here in Dallas. And so I couldn't travel. And then everything I wanted to do in life had to, cater around the half marathons. And so I did the half marathon early that day, but I had complications and cameras failed on me that day. So I got like 10 miles in, 11 miles in, and I had to stop. My camera shut off, and then I didn't have enough time because I had another obligation to go to after that. So I had to get off the treadmill and I had to do it later. And in that moment, I was so frustrated. I was so mad at myself because, like, I didn't delete storage, and that was why the camera shut off. And it had happened before. So I'm like, beat myself up over it, get mad over it. And in that moment, really feel like God was ministering to me and like, and posed this question of like, who do you want to be? I remember this vividly. I was in the bathroom after I was mad, and I kind of went in the bathroom to collect myself, to take a second because I just needed to chill out. And I have this rule with myself that I'll let myself be mad about something for like 5 to 10 minutes, really frustrated. But then after that, it's like, well, being more frustrated isn't going to help. And so I decide to move on. And so anyway, I decide that I'm in the bathroom. I have this thought of like, who do you want to be? And it was really powerful for me because it was like this opportunity for me to recommit to the person that I said I was, that I wanted to be. Or I could be the guy that lets obstacles get in my way and deter me from finishing the challenge. And what really scared me in that moment was like, if I'm going to quit on this challenge, what else am I going to quit on in my life? Like if things get hard in my family or my marriage or my business, like because I've quit here, am I going to quit there too? And so that's what I love fitness to be too, is it's really like a training ground for all of life because it teaches you so much. And if you can be strong mentally, strong dedication there, like you can be strong in business and in all areas of your life. So yeah, that was really huge for me. Like that thought process of who do you want to be, and yeah, it's just a daily recommitment to that, and I think there's a lot of glamour behind like different things that you can do, and there's different mental tricks that you can do, but the biggest one that I've carried with me is it's pretty simple. It's like the more that you do, the more that discipline grows and that consistency grows. And so for me, it's like the more I commit and the more days I ran, the easier it became to keep running. And then when obstacles came, it was easier for me to recommit to it. But you can't escape the commitment that you have to make. Like there's no waving a wand or like making it easier on yourself. Sometimes it's just flat out hard and you have to recommit to those goals. And you just have to accept this is going to be very challenging, but I'm not going to let this deter me. Like if it was easy, everyone would do it and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, you hit it on the spot when you said fitness has such a correlation to life in general, and it's something I talk about a lot. There's so many different things you can learn from your fitness journey and apply it in pretty much every other aspect of your life,
Yeah.
and you learn a lot from that. And that was a
Yeah.
great, kind of answer you had to that question. And I think a lot of people can learn from that and take how you learn from that and put that, in other areas, put that in their marriage, put that in their
Yeah.
career, and use that. So I like that answer a lot. So you talked a little bit about the camera, about your camera failing.
Yeah.
So what were all the rules or requirements you had to follow to break this record?
Yeah. So I had to have two witnesses there every day, had to have two full videos of a front view and a back view, which is of the screen, every day. Had to have the witnesses fill out forms every day, take pictures every day. Um, yeah, and upload all that evidence. So it was a lot. I was doing it all myself too. I did have a video editor who helped me upload the videos at the end, but there was definitely a lot of things that I needed to have for that.
And so how long was it taking you to run these?
About an hour 45 to an hour 50.
So you got two files of an hour and 45 long video that you got to
Yeah.
send every day.
Yeah, and I had to cut them up because each video was like 7 or 8 gigabytes and they had to be max 1 gigabyte file size.
Oh wow!
So
So you had to cut them up to send them. Yeah, that that's terrible.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So how did you get people to come with you every day? Do you have like a list of people? Like, hey man, I need you today.
Well, luckily because of my social following, I was able to get people from that.
Mhm,
And then also, yeah, just people I met, people at the gym. I did it at Lifetime, so I got a lot of foot traction of
mhm.
people through that. And so, yeah, it was a lot, but it was good.
What speed on the treadmill are you running on?
I did, what was that, like 7.5 to 8?
Mhm.
Yeah, miles per
Yeah,
hour. So
that's
that was like, I don't know. I think it averaged out to be like 8-minute miles or so, give or take, plus or minus 30 seconds.
yeah, that's moving pretty quick. That's still moving.
Yeah.
For 13 miles running an 8-minute mile, that's very good. Most people
Yeah.
couldn't even think about doing that. So
Yeah.
did you, since you were doing a lot of running back to back days here, well, 153 days, ha what does your recovery protocol look like here? Did you suffer any injuries during this time? Like, how did you stay healthy during
Luckily,
all
I
this?
didn't. One thing I did was I rotated my shoes really well, so that helps. I'm pretty sure the stat is something like if you rotate your shoes, you can have a 38% reduced risk of the injury just by rotating them. Um, so that's big. Sleeping a lot, 8 to 9 hours a night minimum. When I didn't get that, I try and take a nap. Fueling really good throughout the day, so important. You just have to fuel. There's no other way around it. You got to do it. Um, it truly does make a big difference. So did that. What else? And then, I mean, nothing like crazy. Like I was doing some sauna, some cold plunge, but mostly sleep, eat, and then also warm up and cool down for my runs.
Do you have any idea how many calories you're eating a day?
About 4,000, maybe 4,500. Uh,
Mm.
I lost probably 10 to 15 pounds throughout the entire thing, but I had that weight to lose, and I was kind of glad I did. So it felt good.
Yeah, you would have to be eating at least 4,000 calories a day, or you would have been skin and bones running that
Y-
much.
Yeah,
I know when
yeah,
I'm going through a prep, I'm so hungry all the time. I could
yeah,
eat so much food. People think I don't. People think I should be fat all the time because I eat so much food. I'm like, dude, y'all don't even
yeah.
understand.
You
Y'all don't
don't
understand.
understand how much I run.
Yeah, and how yeah, just working out. I have a little bit more muscle on my frame, so I can get
Hmm.
away with eating a little bit more food. I have a higher metabolism, so
Yeah,
it works in my favor. But
yeah,
I have to feed myself, or I'll lose weight. Like
yeah,
easy, I can lose weight. Um, Not a lot of weight, but for my size, it goes a long ways.
yeah,
So what was your daily schedule on these days? Were you doing it at the same time every day, or I know you said that one day
yeah.
you didn't, but
Yeah, basically same time every day. I'd get up around 5 or 6 a.m. I would have some coffee, eat some oatmeal. I would read the Bible, and then I'd do like an hour or two of work, depending on what time I got up. Then I'd leave at 8 a.m. for the gym. 8:30 to 10:30 is when I'd run, finish up, have my witnesses signed, do my cool down. That would be around 11, drive home, get back 11:30 and start working for the day. Work from like 11:30 to 5 or 6. And then just do it all again the next day. So it was like groundhog day every day, but it's amazing like how much I got into routine and how much easier
mhm,
the half marathon got to where like yeah, it wasn't necessarily fun every day, but I was so in routine and so good at it that like my half marathons felt easier than some like 5 mile runs I'll do now. Just because after Leadville, and then with getting married, like I pulled that back my mileage a little bit strategically just to let my body recover and rest a little bit. Because it had been 6 straight months of high volume. Um, but yeah, it's crazy what our bodies are capable of, and when you're consistent, what you can get your body normalized to.
yeah, I identify with the whole routine thing because when I'm in a prep, like it's like you said earlier, the more you get into your prep, the kind of easier it gets because you get in that routine. You know exactly what your schedule is going to be, and I'm the same way. Like when I'm in the middle of a routine, like I don't even have to think twice about what I'm doing. Like I get up, I do my morning routine, I'm out the door, going to the
Yep.
gym or I'm going running or whatever I'm training that day, and it does get easier.
Yeah.
Like the routine part of it gets easier. Now
Yeah.
mentally, it's still kind of challenging because you're pushing yourself every day. But
Yeah.
I'm way more disciplined in the prep because I know exactly what I got to do. I have my training plan laid out for that day. Don't have to think about it, and
Yeah.
I get in that routine. It's like clockwork. And then
Yeah.
when that race is over and you kind of get out, you don't have to do that no more. Then you kind of slack off a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at now because I'm not
Yeah.
training for nothing right now. So it's a little harder. I do give myself a little leeway, cut myself some slack when I'm not training for nothing. But I do
Uh-huh.
like getting in the prep and getting in that routine like you talked about, so I can
Yeah.
really dial in on the goal.
Yeah. Super big.
So how many total miles did you do? Have you counted them?
Um,
I guess you could do the
I
math
can
for quick,
count
huh?
down. Yeah, let me see. But some days I did more than 13. Like there were probably 3 days where I did um
So
like 20.
2004 is a half marathon for 153 days.
Yeah, so
So you did more than 2004.
yeah, maybe like 2050 or so. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 2100, but
Well,
yeah.
that one day you said you did 11 miles and then you turned around and did another 13.
Yeah, yeah, there's some days I did a full marathon.
Oh, you did a full marathon during these
Yeah, because
just for fun?
no, not intentional. Well, one day I did a 50K intentionally because I was training for Leadville, but
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know how you did that, to be honest with you. That's have you seen the guy that did the Ironmans every day
Yeah, James
consecutively?
Lawrence, he's been a big encouragement to me and a mentor. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember when he did that. I was watching. I was checking in with him every day. I follow him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think he did what 105 days or something. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's legit.
Because
100.
I did one, and there's no way I was doing another one the next day. Like there was no way. And he did it for
Yeah.
105 days or whatever the number was. I was like, that's pretty remarkable. I don't know how people do crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's funny, like the levels of it, because people think I'm crazy because I ran 100 miles. I'm like, y'all don't even know crazy. Y'all should see some of these people. Like you
Yeah.
running 200 miles is insane. Like after that
Yeah.
100, I don't know. I would love to say I did a 200, but I don't know. I think I need a lot more years under my belt running to
Uh-huh.
be able to do something like that. Because after the 100, my legs were just too beat up. Like I couldn't have went another 100 miles. There's no way possible. Like mentally
Yeah.
I could have done it, but physically my legs would have gave out. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's challenging, but it's like that thing of you never know what you're capable of until you actually sign up for it and train for it. And
Mhm.
at one point, I'm sure you didn't think you could do 100 miles, and then
Oh no, absolutely
you
not.
trained for it. So
It scared me to death when I signed up for it. I contemplated it for a while. I was like, should I do a 50? Should I do 100? I was like, nope. Go
yeah,
big or go home. I'm doing 100. Because I would be so mad if I did a 50 and then I was like, okay, I think I could do more. Because then I have to do it all over again. I was like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna go for the
yeah,
100. If I don't do it, I'll
yeah,
do it again until I can get it done.
yeah, yeah,
So it was
yeah,
it was a cool experience, a really cool experience. I definitely like doing it.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna run another one at some point, and I
Let's
do want
go.
to do another Ironman too. So
Let's go.
we'll see when we do it. It's hard
Awesome, man.
now that we're adult and we have jobs and stuff. It's hard to fit
Yeah,
things in.
you'll have to keep me updated on what you end up doing next.
Yeah, well, I think we find out Friday on that backyard ultra. So hopefully I'll get
Okay.
into that. If not,
Okay.
we'll see on Leadville, or
Yeah.
probably gonna enter in some of the High Rocks lotteries to
Okay.
see if I can get in. I know they have
Okay.
one in Atlanta, which is pretty close to me, and then
Okay.
they have them in Texas. So what's next on your plate?
Yeah.
What you got? I know you. Oh, congratulations,
Houston
by the way.
Marathon? Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on your
Yeah.
race.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the next race. No, I'm super excited for that. And then yeah, Houston Marathon. I'm gonna go for sub 2:45, and then Badwater probably in 2026.
what's your PR on the marathon?
251.
251. So
Yeah.
245 is a pretty big jump. That's a pretty
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
What,
I
6
mean,
minutes? That's a pretty good jump.
yeah. We're going for it. So
I had
we'll see.
on my list of things to do is to run a sub 3
Okay.
marathon, which for
Okay.
me that's move. I'm nowhere near that right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty slow because I never really trained for speed. I trained for distance in the ultra, but I never really
Uh,
pushed speed. So that's one of the things I have on my list is I want to see how
yeah.
fast I can do a
Let's
marathon.
go. Go for it,
Yeah,
man. I
I did
love it.
like 4.5 in my Ironman, so I definitely can get under 4. So the goal is
Okay.
to work myself up to
Yeah.
under 3.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of improvement to do before
Let's
then.
go. You got it.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for joining the podcast. I enjoyed it. Is there anything, or tell listeners where they can find you at if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, for sure. Send me a message at Pierce Showe, PIERCESHOWE on Instagram. Would love to hear what you thought of the podcast and your biggest takeaway. And yeah, just want to leave you with just an encouragement that like you may not think a marathon is possible right now. You may not think a half marathon or 50 miles or 100 miles, wherever you're at in your journey, but more becomes possible when you take that first step or those first couple steps. And soon enough, as you progress at whatever your pace is, more is going to be possible, and you'll look up a year from now and be like, oh my gosh, wow, I didn't really think I could do that. And so I want to leave you with that, and go out, have an amazing day, and run your race.
Yeah. So I meant to ask you about that. Is that your logo? Is that your brand or what is
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Run your
it's
race.
my coaching and
Yeah.
just kind of a motto and lifestyle.
Yeah, I like that. Run your race. Always start where you're at. I always like to say, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10, because like
Yeah,
they started at chapter 1 just like you, and they got there, so you can't compare it. So I like that.
yeah,
Run your race. I like that slogan there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you again for joining the podcast. I appreciate it, and y'all make sure to tune in again next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast.